स्मार्ट स्टडी विद तबू। डियर फ्रेंड्स, हमारे जो एफपीएससी की सीनियर एलिमेंट्री स्कूल की टीचर की जो हमने एफपीएससी में 7 अगस्त को टेस्ट दी थी, आज मैं उसके पास पेपर के कुछ क्वेश्चंस आपके साथ शेयर करने जा रही हूँ। ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, अगर आप हमारे चैनल पर नए हैं तो लाइक, सब्सक्राइब और शेयर कीजिएगा। ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। सेक्शन 1 है, हमारे पास टोटल एमसीक्यूज जो हैं 68 हैं और भी मैं कोशिश करूँगी कि आप तक पहुँचाए जा सकें। सेक्शन में ग्रामर एंड सिंटैक्स, लिटरेचर, लिंग्विस्टिक एंड पेडागोजी थे। फॉर्मेट करेक्ट आंसर शोज इन ग्रीन कलर से आपको करेक्ट आंसर शो किए जाएंगे। ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ पर हमारा जो है कंटेंट क्या था पेपर में, एक तो बायोलॉजी, बॉटनी और जूलॉजी आए थे। दूसरा जो है इंग्लिश ग्रामर था, सिंटैक्स था, लिटरेचर थे, 17 क्वेश्चन थे, लिंग्विस्टिक थी, डिक्टेशन वर्ड्स थे और वर्ड मीनिंग थी उर्दू सिंधी में, और पेडागोजी के 21 क्वेश्चंस थे। ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, चलते हैं अपनी वीडियो की जानिब। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 है, द डिटेल्स आर कंसिस्टेंस डैश द टॉपिक अबव। सो इसका राइट ऑप्शन होगा विथ। ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, with the topic above. C is the correct answer. The details are consistent with the topic above. Question number 2 है, the bridge is not suitable for heavy traffic. So यहाँ पर क्या आएगा? For is the right option. B is the correct answer. Question number 3, the bundle of key is lying there. So इसका right option होगा C is the correct answer. Question number 4 है, the evidence suggests that the details of the topics required. So right option is are the topics. The evidence suggests that details of the topic are required. Okay, dear friends, C is the correct answer. Question number 5, the sooner dash left the station than the train arrived. So right option. No sooner had he B is the correct answer. The station than the train arrived. Question number 6, hardly dash when the train arrived. So right option. Had he left when the train arrived. Question number 7, by the time he arrived the lunch dash started. So right option had started. Question number 8, change into passive voice. The teacher pressed the student. So right option is the student was pressed by the teacher. B is the correct answer. पैसिव वॉइस, ये हमें एक्टिव वॉइस में दिया गया है, हमें पैसिव वॉइस में चेंज करना है। क्वेश्चन नंबर 9, चेंज इनटू पैसिव वॉइस, दे हैव कंप्लीट द वर्क। सो राइट ऑप्शन इज द वर्क हैज बीन कंप्लीटेड बाय देम। सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। क्वेश्चन नंबर 10, ही सेड आई एम बिजी। सो राइट ऑप्शन, he said that he was busy. So B is the correct answer. Question number 11. She said to me, have you completed your work? So right option is she asked me if I had completed my work. Dear friends, ये जो है हमारे लेक्चरशिप के बॉटनी की टेस्ट थी जो पास पेपर में आपके साथ 7 डेट का शेयर कर रही हूँ। Question number 12. Question number 12. Choose the grammatically correct sentence. So right option is डियर फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ पर हमें ग्रामेटिकली जो है करेक्ट सेंटेंस सेलेक्ट करना है। सो इसका राइट ऑप्शन सी है। बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। ईच ऑफ बॉय हैज सबमिटेड हिज असाइनमेंट। सो बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। अब देखें डियर फ्रेंड्स, ईच ऑफ बॉयज हैव सबमिटेड हिज असाइनमेंट, ईच ऑफ बॉयज हैज सबमिटेड हिज असाइनमेंट। सो ये वाला जो है हमारा ग्रामेटिकली करेक्ट है आंसर। बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। Question number 13, the figures suggest that company's performance has improved. So right of suggest, SUGGEST, suggest। यहाँ पर हमें जो है बताना था कि कौन सा करेक्ट वर्ड होगा जो कंपनी परफॉर्मेंस इम्प्रूव को शो करेगा। Question number 14, the list of topics dash available on the notice board. So right, the list of topic is C is the correct answer, available on the notice board. Question number 15, choose the correct meaning of elusive. elusive की उर्दू में मीनिंग बतानी थी कि क्या करेक्ट मीनिंग। सो इसका राइट ऑप्शन होगा elusive मीन नाकाबिले गिरफ्त, जिसे हम पकड़ ना सकें, मुश्किल से समझ में आने वाला, difficult to grasp or understand. Okay dear friend, B is the correct answer. Question number 16. Choose the correct meaning of ambivalent mean in Urdu and translated it. B is the correct answer. दोहरे या मुत्तज़ाद जज्बात रखने वाला. Having mixed, conflicting feelings. Okay, dear friends, B is the right option. Question number 17. Choose the correct meaning of audacious mean in Urdu. C is the correct answer. Nidar or jasarat wala, bold and daring. C is the right option. Question number 18. The teacher suggested that the dash assignment before Friday, so right option submit. C is the correct answer. Question number 19. She prefers reading quickly at night, so right dash writing. So right option is B to writing. She prefers reading quickly at night to writing. B is the correct answer. डियर फ्रेंड्स 17 क्वेश्चन जो थे वो हमारे लिटरेचर से दिए गए थे. ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, वो भी डिस्कस करते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. व्हाई डिड ब्लैंक वर्सेस become the predominant poetic medium in Elizabethan drama? So right option B is the correct answer. It provided dramatic speech flexibility. Question number 2. John Milton Paradise Lost is most conventionally categorized as an. So right option is classical epic. B is the correct answer. Question number 3. A metaphysical conceit differs more notable from the conventional smile because it is typically. So right option is join far-fetched ideas with logic. मेटाफिजिकल रिलेट टू जॉइंट फेयरफाइट्स आइडियाज विथ लॉजिक, जो चीज़ हम लॉजिक के साथ. क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. लिटरेचर ऑफ अगस्तान एज वाज प्राइमरी फोकस्ड ऑन द व्हिच artistic value? So right of B is the correct answer. Classical order and satire. Question number 5. Victorian literature was most prominent, characterized by its thematic focus on. So right of social reforms and morality. B is the correct answer. Question number 6. In the preface lyric ballads, what words emphasize poetry should use? So right option common everyday language. B is the correct answer. Question number 7. The defining feature of dramatic monologue is that its result in the speaker's. So right option unconscious self-exposure of character. B is the correct answer. Question number 8. Unlike modernism, which seeks to resolve chaos through art, postmodernism responds to fragmentation by. So right option B is the right option, celebrating ironic chaos. Question number 9. Which thematic elements best represent the core focus on the modernist literature? So right option alienation and existential crisis. B is the right option. Question number 10. Theatre of the absurd is primarily constructed around the idea that. B is the right option. Human existence lack inherent purpose. B is the correct answer. Question number 11. What in what form of the reluctant fundamental is present? So right option C. A dramatic monologue, one sided conversation in which changes tells his history to an unnamed American. So, C is the correct answer. Question number 12. The main characteristic of modern literature was. C is the correct answer. Experimentation, fragmentation, exploration of human psychology. C is the correct answer. Question number 13. Code switching in Pakistani English literature is suggestive of. So, right option is B. Culture identity and linguistic hybridity. Question number 14. The role of third person omniscient nearest post-colonial literature is to. So, right option is B. Provide a wider perspective by revealing the thoughts and experiences of multiple characters. B is the correct. Question number 15. Stream of consciousness means. B is the correct answer. A technique that reveals the continuous flow of a character thoughts, feelings, and memories. So B is the right option. Question number 16. The narration in Ice Candy Man is done through first person narrator Lenny, a young Parsi girl. B is the right option. Question number 17. Ice Candy Man shows the trauma and human consequences of the partition of India. B is the right option. ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, ये भी हमारे क्वेश्चन जो हैं पास पेपर 7 अगस्त की टेस्ट में आए थे। लिंग्विस्टिक सेंटेक्स थे, डिक्शन थी, ईएलटी थी। सो इसे भी हम आज ही सॉल्व करते हैं। इन द क्लास शी मेड हिम कैप्टन। द फंक्शन ऑफ कैप्टन इज बेस्ट आइडेंटिफाइड एज ऑब्जेक्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट। सी इज द राइट ऑप्शन। Question number 2. Which language feature is strictly avoided in formal academic and literary registers? So, right option informal contractions. C is the correct answer. Question number 3. What is the primary structure of feature that distinguishes finite class from a non-finite class? So, right option independent tense marking. D is the correct answer. Question number 4. In transformational generative grammar, what is the principal role of the moment operation? So, right option is A. Driving suffix structure. Question number 5. In structural syntax, continuity demonstrate that sentences are organized by. So, right option B is the correct answer. Hierarchical phrase structure. Question number 6. A bound morpheme is fundamentally defined as minimal linguistic unit that B is the correct answer. Requires a stem to attach. Question number 7. The phonological distinction between the minimal pair sip and zip is based on B is the correct answer. Phonemic voicing contrast. B is the correct answer. Question number 8. In general linguistics, the principle of arbitrariance means option B is the right option. No natural connection exists between word and meaning. Question number 9. The pronunciation of P in pin aspirated differs from spin unaspirated. This is phenomenon is known as allophones. B is the correct answer. Question number 10. The communicative language teaching CLT approach primary priorities. B is the correct answer. Meaningful interaction and usage. Question number 11. Tasks based on language teaching TBLT structure classroom learning around real world communicative tasks. So right option is B. तो डियर फ्रेंड्स, ये हमारा लास्ट पार्ट है पेडागोजी का। बाकी मैं बायोलॉजी, बॉटनी और जूलॉजी की जो टेस्ट हुई थी, जो वो पोर्शन था, उसकी एक अलग से पार्ट 2 में वीडियो बना दूंगी आपके लिए। अगर आप हमारे चैनल पर नए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करें और वीडियो पसंद आए तो लाइक करें, अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करें और बेल आइकन को प्रेस करना नहीं भूलिएगा ताकि आने वाली वीडियोस आपको मिलती रहें। ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, चलते हैं पेडागोजी की तरफ। कोई मुश्किल नहीं होती, टेस्ट बिल्कुल आसान होती है। और ये आप देख रहे हैं, ये पास पेपर है, ये ही एज इट इज़ पेपर था। ओके डियर फ्रेंड्स, question number 1. What is primary purpose of exit ticket at the end of the lesson? B is the correct answer. Checking immediate student comprehension. Question number 2. In begins the MCTK backward design framework, the teacher must first start by, so right of B. Identifying desired learning outcomes. B is the correct. Question number 3. During small group guidance activities, the most common operational challenge for the teacher is managing dominant pair dynamics. B is the correct answer. Question number 4. In school counseling, what is the main purpose of referral services? So, right option is B. Directing students to external experts. B is the correct answer. Question number 5. Formative evolution is specifically designed to access an educational program to write up A during its developmental phase. Question number 6. What is the main purpose of using a table of specification test blueprints? So right option is ensuring balance, content, validity. Question number 7. The consistency of stability of test scores. 1. The test is repeated under similar conditions is known as. So right option B, score reliability. Question number 8. In Vygotsky learning theory, instructional scaffolding should be gradually removed when. So right option is student achieve independent mastery. B is the right option. Question number 9. Scaffolding is removed when the learner starts working. So right option C. Independently. Scaffolding is removed when the learner starts working independently. Question number 10. If all our high achievers are selecting the same dress structure in MCQs, what needs to be reviewed? So right option C. The question, item, destructor, and answer key. C is the correct answer. Question number 11. How does a table of specification helps in MCQ? So B is the right option, ensuring balanced coverage of content areas and cognitive levels. Question number 12. What is backward planning in pedagogy? So right option B. Starting with desired learning outcomes, then deciding assessment and teaching activities. B is the correct answer. Question number 13. If a teacher praises students after completing a difficult task, it is an example of. C. Positive reinforcement. Question number 14. Intrinsic motivation is essential when a student should be interest, enjoyment, and satisfaction in learning. Question number 15. According to the Vygotsky, when a student complete a task with guidance and support become before being able to do independently, it relates to. Option B is the right option. Zone proximal development, ZPD. Question number 16. If an assessment requires students to write excessive information instead of measuring the intended learning outcomes, it is an issue of. So right option C. Validity of measurement. Question number 17. Reliability of an assessment refers to. B. Consistency and stability of assessment results over time. Question number 18. Formative assessment is useful when it gives. B is the correct answer. Continuous feedback to improve students' learning. Question number 19. If a student break a chair, what should be done first? Option C is the right option. Acknowledge the mistake and repair the harm. Question number 20. If a teacher wants to assign group work, what should be done first? So right option C. Describe roles and responsibilities of each group. Question number 21 is last question. What is the general purpose of curriculum framework? So right option C. Providing guidelines for curriculum goals, content, learning outcomes and teaching practices. So dear friends, आज के लिए इतना ही। मिलते हैं नई वीडियो में। जब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखें, दुआ में याद रखें। अल्लाह हाफिज़।